The member from Kenora-Rainy River.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Today, groups supporting Grassy Narrows First Nation released an independent study commissioned by the First Nation that recommends that the cleaning up of the Wabigoon-English River system of the mercury that was dumped there 50 years ago is possible. Will the Premier commit today to an action plan to clean up the Wabigoon River so that future generations don't have to grow up poisoned and that the community of Grassy Narrows can heal?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, and I appreciate the question. I have not yet seen this report. I'm very interested to see the science on which it's based, Mr. Speaker. I have been to Grassy Narrows. We've established an Ontario Grassy Narrows working group to lead a discussion about what the solutions are, Mr. Speaker. My understanding is that there has been testing that has been ongoing, that the group will have a broad scope of inquiry, but that there are complicated issues around the settling of the mercury, Mr. Speaker, in the water at Grassy Narrows. I don't know as I say, I don't know the source of the report, where I understand there's some suggestion that there is still new mercury that is leaking. I don't know the source of that. I look forward to looking at the report, Mr. Speaker, but rest assured that we are very much engaged, even before this report came, on trying to figure out how to make sure that people in Grassy Narrows have clean water and a clean environment to operate in, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, members of Grassy Narrows First Nation will travel this week, as they do every year, the 1,700 kilometres to Queen's Park to once again call on this government to do something, to act on the contamination of their traditional fishing and hunting lands. During this time last year, the Premier said, quote, "Scientists have said to us there are questions about how to actually do the cleanup because the sediment at the bottom can actually cause further damage," end quote. Yes, Speaker, this needs to be done very carefully, but here today, a report written by scientists says that it is possible to clean up the river. In the press today, the response from the Ministry of the Environment to this new report is word for word the same as the ministry comment from February. How is this possible? Truth and reconciliation, Speaker. It means being honest with our relationships with our First Nations partners. Will the Premier commit today to the cleanup of the Wabigoon River of the mercury once and for all?
Thank you.
This is an extremely important issue. It's an extremely important issue, obviously, because of the health of the people who live at Grassy Narrows. It's extremely important in terms of the economy of Grassy Narrows, and I know the member opposite is aware of that. I haven't seen this particular report, but, Mr. Speaker, as I said, the working group that has been established will have to take this information into account. And if there is a way, Mr. Speaker, to clean up that river without disturbing the mercury and making the situation worse, then obviously we want to look at that. And when I was at Grassy Narrows, that was one of the first questions I asked was, is there a way of cleaning up this mercury so that it doesn't actually further contaminate the water, the fish, and the other wildlife? So, Mr. Speaker, obviously we will look at the information, the ministry will look at the information, but the working group that is tasked with this specific subject is going to take this into account, Mr. Speaker, and look for a way forward. Yep.